and foremost, India is a country where freedom of expression is available, entitled for every citizen of this country. This is not China. This is India, where everybody is allowed to freely express their opinion, and that's exactly what cinematic expression is. It's part of India's culture, ethos, and something that allows Indian filmmakers to have the artistic freedom. This is not China, where Beijing diktat decides who gets to actually freely express themselves and who don't. Lastly, the other important part that India has put out is the Defense Ministry can be approached if there is any need for any clarity on any specific issues. We all know the Galwan Valley clash, how it unfolded, how Chinese soldiers came into Indian territory and in fact they threatened and attacked Indian soldiers completely unprovoked. That was how the sequence of events followed. Now, government has said that it has no role to play as far as the film is concerned, and this of course comes back to the freedom of expression that every Indian citizen is allowed. Now, let's now get you the big questions that we are asking, and then we're going to open this up with our panelists as well. First and foremost, how India's story is actually a provocation for China. This is India's story, Indian filmmaker, we are putting this out. Why is it provocative? Next up, does Indian cinema actually need China's approval? There is cinematic expression, freedom of expression, Indian filmmakers creating movies for the global audience. Why is it that suddenly the Chinese approval is needed for any of this? The third key question we're putting out, why is it that you are objecting to a teaser even before you've seen the movie? The movie is going to release in April 2026. One short teaser comes out and suddenly everybody gets rattled. Why object to it without seeing what's there? Then can Galwan movie actually hurt China's confidence? That's the big question. And lastly, we put out the fact that China has denied death of its soldiers. 42 soldiers, several reports have come out, actually died. China did not owe up even to its own martyrs. And now it is objecting only because it doesn't want the truth to actually come out. They haven't owned up to their losses for a very long time. Look at how it treats their martyrs. But India has all along saluted its martyrs, and it is this fear that China is feeling is going to come out. Let's put this out to Andrew Lung, who is a strategist as far as China is concerned, essentially the Chinese voice on the panel, so to say, joins us from Hong Kong. And we have Lieutenant General K.J.S. Dillon, who's with us to talk more about how this movie, when it comes out, puts forth the view as far as what really happened 14,000 feet above ground in biting cold, how Indian soldiers fought back. General Dillon, let me start with you, sir. A movie trailer has rattled the Chinese propaganda machinery, but the fact is, this is the movie that will tell, and tell the valor of Indian soldiers for everybody to see.
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to the fellow panelists and all your viewers. Yes, as you very rightly said in your preamble, India is a country of free speech, free freedom of expression, and our mediums, may it be cinema, may it be our media, television, social media, or even for that matter, print media and books. We are a free country and we express ourselves freely. Even the dissent is expressed freely and it's acceptable. We are the world's largest democracy and we express ourselves in all forms. Whereas China is always behind an iron curtain. And a small teaser, as you very rightly said, if a small teaser can rattle a country, that only shows that country has something to hide, which they have not been telling their public or they have not been telling the world. Whereas India very clearly gave out their casualties. We gave out their names and their everything, address, and their families are proud of their parent, father or brother or sister or son's sacrifice in the line of duty for the nation. That is how we treat our soldiers. That is how we treat our people who lay down their lives or make the supreme sacrifice defending the nation. Whereas China is different. They have not, in the initial stages, they didn't accept any losses of life. Subsequently, something came out with 4 deaths. And then we all know the deaths are more than 40 or even more. But point is, we are very clear. We do not suppress the freedom of expression. We let the freedom of speech, freedom of expression flourish in a most democratic manner and let the whole world know what happened in Galwan. Whereas they have something to hide, that's why they're rattled and they're objecting.
And to respond to that, it's just because that China has something to hide, that it's actually coming out with these propaganda pieces in global times and it's getting so rattled.
Well, freedom of expression is not the special privilege of any country like India. And as far as freedom of expression is concerned, China's got its own film, not about the Galwan conflict, but the much talked about, much criticized Wolf Warrior movie. You heard about that. I think the whole world is talking about the Wolf Warrior. That's China's freedom of expression as well. But China was much criticized for portraying its own heroes. And I think that it's normal for countries to portray its own heroes. And now, let's face it, the Galwan conflict is a turning point for the worse in relations between China and India. And let's face it, the line of actual control has never been clearly determined on either side. And so there are always these disputes. Because territorial integrity is central to the pride of national pride of any country, China and India.
All that is fine, but why write such propaganda pieces in global times?
I think that both countries. Sorry.
I'm saying all that is fine, but the propaganda piece that has come out in global times where it says Bollywood film Battle of Galwan sparks controversy for distorting facts. Experts says no over-the-top drama can affect a nation's sacred territory. Why is the Chinese propaganda machinery reacting so much? It's a movie trailer.
Well, I think that the difference in the narrative is well known. I mean, throughout this conflict for so many decades, as I said, the LAC is never clearly defined. And then the situation has got from bad to worse in Indian-China relations. And since then, both leaders, both India and China, have determined to scale down the rhetoric and to de-escalate, leading to a more stable relationship. Differences accepted, and of course, I think that that's the best way to deal with a relationship between neighbors with contested territorial claims. And I think that the Indian-China relationship should be put on a more even keel. And the timing of this movie is very ill-timed, regardless of its merits, regardless of freedom of expression.
So the movie is ill-timed, there is propaganda, over-the-top drama, but at no point of time will you saying that you are overreacting simply because your calculations or the Chinese calculations are that if something like this comes out, then the carefully crafted propaganda that we have put out is going to be dismantled. General Dhillon, respond to that.
Absolutely, ma'am. Chinese have put out a very well-drafted narrative for their own public, who is not, very open to outside media and outside social media, and they have their own way of, sort of giving narratives to their public. And film is a very powerful media. Film is a very powerful medium, either as authorized or even by the black marketing and through the pirated versions. It will reach the Chinese audience or the Chinese public, which the Chinese government does not want them to know that truth. And as regards the gentleman saying that India-China relations must be improved, yes, of course they should be improved. And the aggression came from the Chinese side during Galwan. They came with the weapons and machetes, and they were the ones who hit our soldiers first. They were in our side of the line of actual control, and they escalated the whole thing. The whole aggression was from Chinese side, but that's a debate for another day. Today we are saying
unprovoked aggression from the Chinese side. If there is an Indian movie that is putting that forth clearly for our audiences to know and talk about the valor of Indian soldiers, there's no reason why Chinese propaganda machinery should be so rattled and come out with these kind of one-sided pieces that they have. It clearly says they have a lot more to hide. And of course, this movie, Galwan movie, will dismantle the Chinese propaganda that they have created for their domestic audiences. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks much, gentlemen, for joining me in this edition of Nationwide at 6. Shifting focus now to Bangladesh. A nation swept in grief as Bangladesh mourns the death of former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia, who was a very prominent political figure in the nation's politics. She died at the age of 80 earlier today after prolonged illnesses. And in fact, BNP sources have told NDTV that Khaleda Zia will be buried next to her husband and later President Ziaur Rahman's grave in Dhaka. And Interim Chief Mohammad Yunus has announced a 3-day national mourning. Khaleda Zia was the first woman Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and she had led almost over 8-year-long demonstrations to bring back democracy in Bangladesh during the late 80s. World leaders have reacted to Khaleda Zia's death, with Prime Minister Modi recalling their warm meeting in 2015 while recognizing her contributions to Bangladesh's development. In fact, Bangladesh Chief Mohammad Yunus has said that Bangladesh has lost its greatest guardian, and Sheikh Hasina, her biggest political rival, has also called it a profound loss. Listen in to in fact, this ground report that's been filed by my colleague Ankit Tyagi, who's on ground in Bangladesh, covering that big story for us. Take a look.
This massive crowd and the massive security deployment that you see behind me is at right side the hospital where 80-year-old former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the first woman Prime Minister, Begum Khaleda Zia, breathed her last at about 6 a.m. this morning here in Dhaka. You would see a lot of her supporters of the BNP, people remembering her, many emotional as well. This now entire area has been cordoned off, and it is actually out of bounds for people, those who do not have any business in the hospital. Right, I will just first show you the hospital where she was admitted for the last 36 days. There were multiple problems that she was facing. And in the last few days, in the last 4 to 5 days, her condition was only worsening. Her son, Tariq Rahman, who has returned after a 17-year exile to Bangladesh just 5 days ago, in fact, was in the hospital, and along with his entire family. Yesterday, he asked the BNP supporters and others to pray for Begum Khaleda Zia. But in the morning, the situation was entirely different. He was still a short time back, was inside this hospital along with his wife and daughter. Other relatives of Khaleda Zia were also inside, her sister and also her brother. Now, Tariq Rahman has left from the hospital. He has gone to the BNP headquarters at the Neapolitan area. And on the other hand, what we're being told, a team of the BNP senior leaders has gone to meet the chief advisor, Mohammad Yunus, for the arrangements of the final rites and the burial of Khaleda Zia. In fact, what we have been told is that she would be buried next to her husband, former President General Ziaur Rahman, at the same burial spot, Chandrama Udyan in Dhaka. When all those things will take place, the information is yet to come. But with her passing away, it is clearly an era of politics, of democracy, and the struggle for Bangladesh to remain a democratic country has come to an end. A bipolar Bangladesh where the battle of the two Begums, on one hand Khaleda Zia, on the other Sheikh Hasina. Now with Sheikh Hasina in exile and Khaleda Zia no more, comes to an end. You would see those posters of tribute for Khaleda Zia and a lot of her supporters here right outside Evercare Hospital. This also comes at a time when Bangladesh is heading for a very crucial elections on February 12th. The impact of her death will have a huge footprint in the upcoming election. With Momin, Ankit Tyagi from Dhaka, NDTV.
In fact, this is the first time in the last 45 years or so there will be neither of the two towering ladies in Bangladesh, Khaleda Zia or Sheikh Hasina. And what lies ahead for Bangladesh would be extremely volatile and would be important to watch out for India as well. In fact, Ankit also went to the burial site exactly where the burial of Khaleda Zia will take place tomorrow, and he filed this report. Take a look.
Behind me in heart of Dhaka, Chandrama Udyan, the final resting place of former President of Bangladesh, Ziaur Rahman, husband of Khaleda Zia, who passed away this morning. This is also going to be the final resting place for Khaleda Zia, the former Prime Minister, the first woman Prime Minister of Bangladesh. We've been told that tomorrow the funeral procession will come here, and right next to her husband's grave, she would also be laid to rest. There are a lot of people, supporters of the BNP, those who have already started gathering right at this very spot. Tomorrow, this will be jam-packed with massive security arrangements also being made. Just opposite to this is the Parliament of Bangladesh, and Tariq Rahman, the son of Khaleda Zia and Zia Rahman, now, of course, the undisputed leader of the BNP, the party that they founded. And since 1981, that's after his assassination, his mother, Khaleda Zia, has been a very important, prominent figure of that party. This is the final resting place of one of the most important political dynasty, the heads of those political dynasty, as Bangladesh moves towards an important election. Now with Tariq Rahman as the head of the BNP on February 12th. In Dhaka with Momin, Ankit Tyagi.
In fact, it is an end of an era as far as Bangladesh politics is concerned. And now, after Khaleda Zia's death, it will now be Tariq Rahman who will be at the center of steering BNP, or Bangladesh Nationalist Party, ahead of the crucial elections on February 12th. As far as Tariq Rahman is concerned, he's someone who returned after a 17-year-old long exile to Bangladesh, and he's caught between legacy, leadership, and the fight for political survival. This report tells you how the stakes are now so high for BNP, for Tariq Rahman, and for Bangladesh itself.
With the death of Khaleda Zia, an era ends, and a high-stakes battle for legacy, leadership, and survival begins inside the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. For decades, Khaleda Zia was more than a former prime minister. She was the emotional core of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, a symbol of resistance, rivalry, and relentless opposition to the ruling Awami League. As Bangladesh heads towards crucial elections in February, the BNP stands at a crossroads. All eyes are on her son, Tariq Rahman. Long seen as the heir apparent, Rahman now faces the weight of inheritance, not just of a party, but of a political movement built around his mother's name. For the BNP, Khaleda Zia's death may galvanize supporters, transforming grief into political momentum. But it also removes the party's most unifying figure, the leader who could command loyalty across factions and generations. Rahman, who has just returned from a 17-year exile, may now step out of his mother's shadow and convince voters that the BNP's future is not just nostalgia, but a credible alternative. The pressure is immense, but many polls suggest that the BNP will emerge victorious in the elections, with the student-led NCP likely to face an underwhelming result. There's little time for mourning and no room for missteps. Khaleda Zia's chapter has closed. The question now is whether her legacy becomes a launchpad or a burden for those she leaves behind. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Slipping into a very short break, we come back with more on the other side. Stay with us.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network.
It is Asia's richest civic body. 2026 begins with Big Bang BMC poll. High stakes Mumbai battle loading. Can BJP extend Maha winning streak? Existential fight for the Sena. Can the Congress strike a comeback? Maha civic body, massive implications. NDTV tracks the Maha build-up, battleground BMC.
Are you ready for the best show in town? NDTV Golf Pro-Am, we are coming to your city. Stay tuned.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
We love you, Rahman!
This was one of the most magical.
Now viewers, Rehan Vadra, who's the son of Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi, and businessman Robert Vadra is engaged to his long-time girlfriend Aviva Beg. The 25-year-old proposed recently after 7 years of dating, and both families reportedly have given their approval. Now Rehan is a visual artist. He's known for wildlife, street and commercial photography, with his debut solo exhibition Dark Perception held in 2021 at Bikaner House in New Delhi. His passion for photography was encouraged both by his mother and also inspired by his grandfather, the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. All right, viewers, that's all the time we could pack in this edition of Nationwide at 6. Thanks so much for watching.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Yeah.
मैडम स्टूडेंट हो जाता है कोई कंपनी सुनाई नहीं मैनेजर बोलता है करना है करो नहीं आईडी बंद कर दूंगा
10-15 मिनट लेट भी हो जाएंगे इंटरव्यू काट लेता है 500-700 रुपये कट जाता है
गाली देते हैं गाली सुनना पड़ता है अगर टूट गया तो फाइन भी भरना पड़ता है
बात अच्छे से नहीं करते स्टोर वाले बैठने का नहीं है पानी पीने का नहीं टॉयलेट के लिए नहीं कोई सुविधा नहीं
At the click of a button on your phone, today your essentials, your groceries and your food is delivered at your doorstep, sometimes within 10 minutes. But have you considered to think what it takes to get that delivery to your doorstep in 10 minutes and what risks delivery partners, as they are called, are taking to ensure that happens? Today, NDTV is taking a look at how these delivery partners have been forced to pause, to protest, because they've been pushed to the brink. Low wages, lack of security, and the huge risks involved. We at NDTV are spending an entire day with a delivery partner or a gig worker to see how their conditions of work have deteriorated and how every day they are practically putting their lives at risk to ensure your groceries, your food is delivered in 10 minutes. A story that we will dive into in detail in this video.
हम लोग मजबूरी में यहाँ काम करते हैं, नहीं मिलता है कोई जॉब ना, तब जाकर के हम काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर।
Amarjeet Paswan is unable to hold back his tears. Vineet shows us his broken hand.
आगे गिर गया, ये उंगली क्रैक हो गई और ये अंगूठा फट गया, इधर ब्लड निकलने लगा।
Manish has now forgotten the count of wounds on his hands and feet.
कितना है लेकिन कोई कंपनी पैसा नहीं बढ़ा रही।
This is the pain of delivery warriors who are delivering products at lightning speed to our homes. But at what cost? This is the pain of delivery warriors who are delivering products at lightning speed to our homes. But at what cost?
पानी वानी पीने का बंदोबस्त वगैरह है यहाँ पे?
कुछ भी नहीं है।
सामान उठाने आए आप, पानी पीने का कुछ बंदोबस्त
नहीं, अपना बोतल दूसरा खरीदो या तो पैसे का खरीदो, पानी फिर पियो, कोई नहीं है जी। मैं डिलीवरी लेके जा रहा था यहाँ से स्टामार्ट का, रात को 2:30 बजे मैं स्लिप खा के गिर गया।
रात को 2:30
बजे तो सर मुझे बहुत टाइम लगा उठने के लिए, मुझे काफ़ी दर्द हो रहा था, ब्लड निकल रहा था। तो इसका मैं सर MRI करवाया, 2500 रुपये लगा सर। एक्सरा निकाला सर, इसका 300 रुपये लगा। और प्लस्तर करवाया सर, उसका 500 रुपये लगा। और दवाई का सर लगा 3000 रुपया।
3000 रुपये मतलब टोटल खर्चा कितना हुआ?
टोटल 6000 रुपया सर।
6000 रुपये। आप दिन में कितना कमाते हो?
सर दिन में मैं 700-800 रुपये कमाता हूँ। अब एक ऑर्डर मारने के लिए 2 घंटा लगा, 2 घंटे में हमने कितना पेट्रोल जलाया और खून जलाया अलग, लेकिन कंपनी वाले को कोई फिक्र नहीं है आपका वर्कर क्या काम कर रहा है आपके लिए।
गाड़ी वाले भी ठोक देते हैं, बहुत डिलीवरी वाले भी। हमारे 2 पार्टनर है जूहू में, उन लोगों का एक्सीडेंट हो गया, मर गए, कोई इंश्योरेंस नहीं हम लोगों का।
Aggregators promise delivery in 10 minutes, building customer expectations that lead to immense pressure on delivery partners. Now, this is where the problem lies. Crowded streets, traffic jams, dug up roads. But through all of this, they are expected to reach your doorstep in exactly 10 minutes, and that puts their lives at risk every day, because under pressure to deliver in 10 minutes, they take risks. They often have to drive fast and navigate traffic, leading to a situation where they are susceptible to road accidents, which are actually taking place on a daily basis, and we've seen examples of that as well.
The pain of delivery boys is more pronounced in Mumbai. Even after 16 hours of work, they barely make enough to live in this expensive city. To hear their stories, we arrived on the narrow streets of Mumbai at 5 a.m. Because with the little money that they earn, they're only able to live in the slums or these chawls. And duty or work starts at 6 in the morning. Living with his family of 5 in this Mahim house, a 36 square foot matchbox, 19-year-old Afzal is saving money for his sister's wedding.
मेरा नाम अफजल रफीक शेख, मेरी उम्र 19 years। मैं रहता हूँ नया नगर माहिम में।
करीब ये मुझे लग रहा है 36 स्क्वायर फीट का एरिया है।
हाँ।
तो मुंबई की एक सच्चाई है कि बस्तियों में जिस तरह से लोग रहते हैं, कितने लोग रहते हैं, कौन कौन है आपके परिवार?
इस घर में तो अभी 5 लोग रहते हैं। डैडी है, मम्मी है, एक छोटी बहन है, मैं हूँ और मेरा भाई है।
आप 19 साल के हैं?
19।
पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं?
BMS कर रहा हूँ, फर्स्ट ईयर डिग्री।
तो आप पढ़ाई के साथ साथ आप जेप्टो के लिए काम कर रहे हैं
जी।
किस तरह से इसकी शुरुआत हुई, क्यों करना पड़ रहा है, इसके बारे में बताइए।
तो मतलब मेरे को थोड़े पैसे की जरूरत है, मेरी बहन की भी शादी है।
और आप कितना कमा लेते हैं?
मैं 12 आवर्स से 14 आवर्स करता हूँ, इसलिए दिन का 1000-1200 कमा लेता हूँ, 1200 तक।
12 से 14 घंटे आप काम कर रहे हैं और करीब 40 से 45 ऑर्डर्स पूरा कर रहे हैं। चलिए आज आपका दिन हम देखते हैं बहुत करीब से और समझिए कि आप किन समस्याओं से गुजरते हैं। चलिए। तो यहाँ सबसे पहले पहुँचकर आप क्या करते हैं?
लॉगिन करना होता है, स्लॉट्स बुक करने होते हैं।
ठीक है, तो आप कर चुके हैं, लॉगिन कर चुके हैं?
हाँ।
लॉगिन कर लिया और आपको पहला ऑर्डर आ चुका है?
जी। चालान लग गया है तो मतलब चले जाएगा आराम से 2-3 हज़ार। कभी 700 रुपये का नो पार्किंग का कभी लग गया, कहीं देने गए नो पार्किंग का खड़ा दिए, उसका चालान लग जाता है। कभी सिग्नल जंप कर दिया, आपको पता नहीं है, पीछे से फ़ोटो आ गई है, ऐसा हो जाता है। कहाँ लगा?
नो एंट्री है, बाहर खड़ा करना।
मैंने देखा कि आपको गार्ड ने रोका था बाहर, क्या बोल?
हाँ, वो बोला कि अंदर ने गाड़ी लेने का, बाहर लगा।
तो ये लगभग हर बिल्डिंग में होता है जब आप जाते हैं?
मोस्टली हर, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा देखेंगे तो दिल्ली में ज़्यादा नहीं लगाने देते।
And Afzal's situation is not his alone. Many delivery boys like Ashish Mishra and Sameer share the same pain. Their personal stories surprising. For delivery partners working for aggregator platforms, it's a hard life in Mumbai city. They often come from poor backgrounds and crammed into these little spaces, they live their lives with others. And that's why they are desperate to keep their jobs, because not working for a day or losing a day's earning actually makes a lot of difference in their lives. We are at Santa Cruz, Gazdarband Chawl, and here we will see how one of these delivery partners lives with others in a small rented apartment. It's not even an apartment, it's a chawl, and it's a very, very small space, cramped, and we'll go up and see how they live and get a glimpse of their lives. Ashish Mishra left his graduation midway and came to Mumbai with the dream of earning some money for his family back home. He did not come alone, he brought friends along. They work for different aggregator companies, but their pain and struggles are the same.
इधर इतने आवारा कुत्ते हैं, एक रोड है नाना साहब दहमत का ही थोड़ा आगे, 11-12 बजे बाद वहाँ निकलेंगे, जैसे गाड़ी हम लोग की है थोड़ा आवाज़ करती है बट रोड, कुत्ते खेल लेंगे पीछे से, पैर ऊपर करेंगे, हाथ ऊपर करेंगे, कोई अगर रहेगा अगल बगल में वो थोड़ा सपोर्ट कर देगा तो रुक जाएंगे, नहीं तो कुत्ते भी काटते हैं सर, बहुत तकलीफ है।
10 मिनट तो बंदा बाथरूम में से नहीं आएगा, 10 मिनट में हम ऑर्डर ले जाके दे दो, ठटका है बाथरूम से लो ऑर्डर लो, ये थोड़ी ना होता है कि 10 मिनट में ऑर्डर दे, कौन सी बात होगी। देखिए राइडर की तकलीफ भी, और रोड पे एक बार खुद आके भी देख लें क्या ट्रैफिक झेलते हैं। अब कंपनी ये सोच रही है कि गर्मी बारिश सर्दी सब सहे पर कुछ किसी से कुछ ना कहें, ऐसा तो नहीं होने वाला।
Some buildings don't allow delivery boys to use the lift, and in some old buildings there aren't any lifts at all, which means that they have to climb stairs, often getting late in the delivery. Sometimes customers complain about delays, and that's when they lose their incentives, or even the account gets deactivated, which means their day's earnings suffer. And this is what leads to mental and physical stress for delivery partners.
हम दिन में कम से कम समझ लो 20 से 25 ऑर्डर मारते हैं, जिसमें से कुछ बिल्डिंगों के अंदर तो लिफ्ट होती नहीं है, तो 4 माला किसमें 5 माला ऐसा सीढ़ी चढ़ के जाना पड़ता है, और कुछ बिल्डिंगों के अंदर लिफ्ट होती है तो डिलीवरी बॉय के लिए थोड़ी सेपरेट अलग होती है, तो उसके लिए वेट करना पड़ता है, फिर ऊपर जाके वो ऑर्डर डिलीवर करना है, फिर लिफ्ट का इंतज़ार करना है कब लिफ्ट आएंगी, फिर नीचे जाना है।
ऑर्डर देने में लेट और लौटने में देरी।
हाँ, लौटने में भी देरी, फिर उस वजह से हमारी अर्निंग भी लो हो जाती है, जैसे कि स्लो होती है, जैसा कि जितना हम ज़्यादा टाइम दे के कम ऑर्डर मार पाते हैं और अर्निंग उसमें स्लो हो जाती है।
तो जब ऐसे आप देरी से आते हो तो कस्टमर्स का रिएक्शन क्या होता है? मतलब
कुछ कस्टमर ऐसे हो तो बहुत ज़्यादा चिढ़ जाते हैं, जैसा कि उनको 1 से 2 मरतबा अगर कॉल कर दिया एड्रेस पूछने के लिए तो उस पर भी चिढ़ जाते हैं। ये जो जैसा कि ऑर्डर हम डिलीवर करते हैं कस्टमर को, तो कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि कंप्लेंट की वजह से हमें बहुत ज़्यादा डरना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हमारी आईडी जो है तो टर्मिनेट हो जाती है, तो उसके बाद फिर
एक कंप्लेंट पे डीएक्टिवेट कर देते हैं,
सीधा होल्ड पे डालेंगे पहले, उसके लिए समझ लो पूरा दिन हमारा ख़राब हो जाएगा, इंसेंटिव भी चले जाएंगे उसके अंदर।
These gig workers are now making demands from these aggregator companies. Amongst them, a fixed delivery rate of rupees 35, which is only 15 to 20 rupees now. An end to the dreaded 10-minute delivery model. They also demand no blocking of their IDs without hearing their side of the story. They want a fixed 8-hour shift and rest time included. Amongst their main demands, accident insurance and health benefits. They also want a petrol allowance separately. And finally, the most important one, they want the status of an employee rather than a delivery partner, which is vague. Legally, delivery boys are treated only as partners rather than employees, which does not give them the status of workers. They are called gig workers who fall under the unorganized sector and are considered independent freelancers partners by companies, which means no social security or benefits like Provident Fund, employee state insurance, leave, or even basic security. In 2021, there were about 77 lakh gig workers in India, which is estimated to rise to 2.35 crore by 2029-30. According to the 2020-21 estimate, there are about 1.15 crore deliveries in India every day. According to the 2024 data, the food delivery market has grown from rupees 3.78 lakh crore or 45.15 billion, and quick commerce has grown to rupees 30,150 crore or $3.6 billion. According to statistics, 91% of gig workers work full-time, while only 9% are part-timers. 41% of gig workers are not able to take even a single day off in a week. About 75% delivery agents work more than 10 hours a day. 42% delivery partners have experienced violence at work. 87% of delivery boys are affected by the problem of their IDs being blocked on their apps, leaving them with no income. Only 32% gig workers earn between rupees 400 and 600 a day. Only 5% earn above rupees 800 a day. 48% gig workers do not get any daily minimum guarantee or incentive, while only 20% get it occasionally. There is huge opposition amongst workers against the 10-minute instant delivery model introduced for delivery by several aggregator companies. 86% of delivery workers believe that this model is not right, it compromises on their safety, and is unacceptable.
Taking note of these issues and problems, the government has now brought in legislation to bring gig workers under the umbrella of Social Security. The new Labour Code establishes provisions to set up a fund for the welfare of gig workers, and companies are expected to allocate 1 to 2% of their turnover to fund this effort. But those aware of the ground reality say that while the legislation has been drafted and is in place, implementation lags far behind, and these gig workers are yet to see any real money coming in for their welfare or even in times of emergencies.
They all are working on the basis of hire and fire. Recently the labor code got implemented, and under the labor code they are getting recognition in the unorganized sector, but not as a worker. Citizens are enjoying their facility to get the delivery within 10 minutes, but that 10 minutes cause many of them to meet with an accident, with a ID blocking, and if they are not able to deliver on the time, many issues they are facing within their aggregator. Being not considered as a worker, they are not having any governing body where they can make a complaint. Many times false allegation has been charged to these people whenever they are visiting to some place. They are badly, even sometimes they have reported the physical assault also.
The primary demand of the delivery partners is to be recognized as labor to ensure that their rights are not compromised. And they also want the scrapping of the 10-minute delivery program, something that puts their life at risk. Now imagine, these are the basic reasons why they are protesting. And if these protests continue, imagine how consumers who depend on these delivery partners will be affected. And more importantly, for businesses that have a sizable chunk of sales happening through these aggregator platforms, a strike of delivery partners could have immense impact on their bottom lines and sales.
While demand is at its peak during the holiday season, those dependent on delivery boys are worried about the impact of their strike. Restaurants and eateries are dependent on them. And everyone agrees that the 10-minute pressure is simply not worth it and should be chunked.
Right now it is a very, very important part of my life, or I can say for my family. I usually order 3 to 4 deliveries a day if I am talking particularly about Blinkit. So yeah, it is a very necessary part.
3 to 4 deliveries a day. What about you?
So being a working professional, I do not have time to step out and go out and bring the stuff. So I am really dependent on the delivery guys because it's just like half an hour or 1 hour of stuff that they bring us.
On the roads, we can see their struggles, how much in rush they are to deliver their products at time. So as per my opinion, the delivery in 10 minutes should be avoidable. And we should be, as a citizen of India, we should take care that their life is also important to all of us.
See, when these apps, like online orders apps, they came us with this idea, we strictly told them it is not possible to deliver in 10 minutes, Like then only we offered them like such items which are readily available. But looking at these conditions like infrastructure condition, parking problems, and preparation time of the food, there are many factors involved in this, which is not feasible for this 10 minutes delivery. And there are like other issues like it's rush things. So there are a lot of complaints and concern in this.
We are depending 50% from them, and if they go for the strike, so it's very much loss for my outlet also. So this is very much risky for people also because mostly 50 to 80% people are depending on Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zepto and all.
Quick commerce platforms like Swiggy, Blinkit, Big Basket, Zomato, Zepto, no doubt has made lives of consumers easier. But in the past few months, life for the delivery partners has gotten more difficult. And after a full day's work, they are paid about rupees 15 to 20 per delivery, which translates into a lot of pressure on their earnings because rising fuel prices have really pushed the margins. Add to that, there is also the pressure of delivering on time because if they do not deliver in time, sometimes they stand to lose their entire day's earnings.
ऐसा दे रहे हैं अभी कस्टमर देखेंगे तो डांटते हैं ना बोलते हैं ऐसा
जैसे खुले में ड्रम स्टिक्स है तो कस्टमर क्या बोलते हैं आपको
बोलते हैं ऐसा नहीं लेके आने का ना तो स्टोर वाले ऐसे देते हैं तो ऐसे लेके जाना पड़ेगा ना अभी रेस्टोरेंट से कोई भी सामान उठाएंगे अगर लीकेज हो गया फट गया फिर भी हम लोग को प्लांटी हम लोग ऊपर गिरती है कि हाँ कि तुम लोग कैसे लेके आओ कैसे नहीं हम लोग का प्रॉब्लम कोई देखता नहीं हम लोग के कैसे खुड्डा में गाड़ी लेके जाते हैं ट्रैफिक में फंस जाते कोई साइड मार देता है सामान जो 10 मिनट में हम लोग लेके जाते हैं वो इतना जल्दी लेके जाना पड़ता है चाहे रास्ते में गिरे या पड़े लेकिन सामान उनका जल्दी पहुंचना चाहिए और टाइम पे पहुंचना चाहिए तो कंपनी वाले भी बोलते हैं कि अगर 10 मिनट में सामान दे के और 10 मिनट में वापस स्टोर पे नहीं आए तो रास्ते में ही चेकआउट होगा।
Given the growing dependence of consumers and businesses on aggregator platforms, these are issues that can no longer be ignored. Because at the end of the day, when your doorbell rings, when your food arrives in a matter of minutes, take time to ponder why that food has arrived so soon and has someone actually risked their life to bring you that food to your doorstep at an unreasonable pace. Now, this is something that's being discussed as the issue of gig workers or delivery partners become a conversation with them deciding to highlight their problems by protesting. And when that doorbell rings and when you receive your parcel, perhaps it's time to ponder about the cost of convenience. Is the cost of convenience far too high?
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine.
In France, in Italy.
At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network.
It is Asia's richest civic body. 2026 begins with Big Bang BMC poll. High stakes Mumbai battle loading. Can BJP extend Maha winning streak? Existential fight for the Sena. Can the Congress strike a comeback? Maha civic body, massive implications. NDTV tracks the Maha build-up, Battleground BMC.
Are you ready for the best show in town? NDTV Golf Pro-Am, we are coming to your city. Stay tuned.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
This was one of the most magical, mystical performances we've seen.
This is like a shrine.
Coming and listening to you is like seeing a maestro perform at that shrine.
I think it was when Nayar sang himself for the longest Qawwali. Yes, that for me was special.
When the first claps came in, I think my only prayers was all of you should be healed. May God give you a lot of prosperity, health, love, long life.
I was mesmerized.
I think it is one of the most magical evenings that I've spent.
बहुत ही अच्छा.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, A.R. Rahman is unmatchable.
It connected me to some spirituality. This is India for me. This is India. This India I grew up, and this India I'm seeing. It will never change. When you
you have somebody like an A.R. Rahman, legend, maestro, I don't know which word should we choose. It was just a treat.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime.
The Karnataka government on Monday decided to provide alternate housing to those genuine homeless people whose illegally constructed houses or sheds were demolished by authorities in Bengaluru. Now, this was a matter that had brought in a lot of criticism of the Congress government. Meanwhile, there have been updates in the death of Angel Chakma, with the police now ruling out the racial angle to the crime. So what really happened? We'll take you through all of that. Hello everybody, you're watching NDTV and this is the Southern View. Before we get on with the show, let's first get you the headlines. Uttarakhand police denies racist attack charges. Uttarakhand cops have said that the clash was between two groups. In a shocking twist, police deny racism in the murder of Tripura student Angel Chakma. They now say that the accused were just mocking and joking with each other. Home Minister Amit Shah declares war for Bengal, makes infiltration issue number one. Mamata Banerjee has hit back, calling Amit Shah Dushasan. TVK's Vijay tears into Stalin government over attack on migrant worker in Tamil Nadu. TVK chief says attack shows DMK government's indifference. The government, meanwhile, has slammed China's narrative on Galwan movie, says Indian filmmakers free to make films as per artistic freedom. China has opposed the movie, calling it an over-the-top drama. Bangladesh mourns the passing away of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, as tributes have poured in from different parts of the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recalled his 2015 meeting with her and praised her role in strengthening India-Bangladesh ties. Well, a demolition drive in Bengaluru has now turned into a political storm that has also reached Kerala. The razing of homes, many belonging to Muslim families, drew strong criticism from Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, who accused Congress-led Karnataka government of using bulldozer justice. Now, as outrage grew and protests mounted, Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar announced that affected families would be rehabilitated on humanitarian grounds. While this may bring some relief to those who lost their homes, it has also raised a bigger political debate about double standards that political parties often adopt, selective outrage, and whether compassion comes only after political pressure. The big question is, was rehabilitation always a plan, or did it come only after the backlash? Before we get in our guests, let's take a look at some reactions.
It is a government land on which these people are living there. By making temporary sheds, and they have been demolished by the corporation.
Not fit for human habitation, so dangerous to live there, sir.
On the ground of humanitarian grounds, we are making alternative arrangement. It is a political, see, they make it a political issue. Please ask Pinarayan.
ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ರೋಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ರೋಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರೇ ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಮಾನವೀಯತೆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಹೌಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಎಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವುದು ನಮ್ಮವರು ಕೆಲವು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ಡ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಕ್ಕುಪತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಜನರ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದವರು ಹೊಸದಾಗೂ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜಿನೈನ್ ವೋಟರ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ರಿಹಾಬಿಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Chief Minister taken a U-turn. What yesterday he was telling, today he has taken a U-turn. What is this?
Why do you think that's happening, sir?
See, because they are showering to Venugopal. When he put a small word, they will do it in a big way. Who is Venugopal to interfere in the affairs of Karnataka? See, he can give a suggestion, but he cannot order like this. And they are all who are there. So unofficially constructed the houses and are staying. They are all, according to our sources, they are Rohingyas. Maybe some Dalits also there, because they have brought them to guard them.
We have B.S. Arun, who's a political analyst, joining us now. He's also a senior journalist. And we have Prashant G.S., BJP spokesperson, joining us. Thank you, both of you, for being part of this broadcast. We're also joined by CPM MP from Kerala, John Brittas. Thank you, Mr. Brittas, for your time. Why did Pinarayi Vijayan feel the need to talk about what's happening in Karnataka? Because clearly he's the Kerala Chief Minister. But Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has taken objection to the Chief Minister of Kerala. Whatever objections he raised, because DKS is now saying that the demolitions are on encroached land and the land mafia was only trying to create slums there, and the Chief Minister, your Chief Minister, Kerala Chief Minister, spoke without knowing what the ground reality was.
I'm glad that he talked in terms of land mafia. He should at least check with his colleague, the Revenue Minister, who is the MLA from that area. Is it not a fact that the Revenue Minister sought the support of those people during the last elections? Didn't he claim that all those people must have voted for him? Is it not a fact that the Bangalore North Tahsildar had issued permission to them to build houses? Is it not a fact that the Bangalore Authority had provided them water, electricity connections? Don't they have all the identity cards, from ration cards to passports, other everything? Is the realization all of a sudden descended on D.K. Shivakumar that they are all illegal? Hasn't he looked at the Google Earth that those people were living there for last 20 years, 25 years? So I feel that when an injustice is heaped on those people, it's a responsibility of people like Pinarayi Vijayan to comment on that. And further, Karnataka is very much part of India, and it is governed